This is my old dash cam. Big, clunky, overpriced, crappy video quality. Here's my new dash cam. Compact, easy to use, easy to mount, inexpensive, great video quality. I'm not a tech reviewer. I make videos about driving around the country in a little bus. So if I'm showing you something techie, it's because I use it and I love it and I think it could be good for you too. And that is why I'm showing you this 70mm 4K A810 HDR dash cam.
Maximalist minivars with Mary and Captain and you. Get on the bus!
So I should say up front, 70My gave me this camera, but they gave it to me because I asked them for it, because I did my homework and I decided that this was exactly what I wanted. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to tell you my honest opinion. If you watch me regularly, you know it's hard for me not to say my honest opinion. So I'm going to tell you the truth about it. But I actually don't think 70My has much to worry about, because this thing has really exceeded my expectations. It has a lot of desirable technical features. I'm going to list them on the screen, but if you don't know what all that means, don't worry too much about it. I don't know what all that means either, but I do know what the Sony Starvis part means. Starvis is a very cool technology that captures the faintest light in the darkest place. Like if you're on a dark road that's lit only by street lights or traffic lights, you want to have Starvis technology. The part that you really need to know is that this thing works great and the video footage looks great. Here's where the USB power cord plugs in, just goes right in there. A lot of people want to run that cable up somewhere where it's not visible, but I'm just going to run it straight down to my cigarette lighter plug-in power station here because I'm not fancy. See, there it goes. Now, the installation is very easy. The mount is this little thing. The camera just slides right in like this. You can easily remove the camera from the clip and take the SD card out or clean the lens or adjust the angle of things, whatever you need to do. And then when you put it back, it's always going to be in exactly the same position. The lens on this thing is really wide. You want to situate it somewhere near the middle of your dashboard, not off to the side, or you're going to get kind of a weird angle. Mine is right below the rear view mirror, and I can see really far to each side, which is something I was really happy about when I drove on this road in California. See, there's horse statues that are just like jumping over the road. It's very cool. When you start it up, if you haven't inserted a micro SD card, you're going to see a pop-up telling you to put one in. And that's something you're going to have to buy because it doesn't come with one. You need a good SD card that's between 32 megabytes and 256 megabytes. I use the maximum size because the recording is going to overwrite if it runs out of space. And since I'm saving all the video, I don't want to lose anything, so I don't want it to overwrite. You're going to be prompted to format the card, which is very simple to do. Hit that button and it gets formatted. That's it. That's all it takes. This is where you plug in the auxiliary camera, which most people are going to use as a rear-facing camera on the back of the vehicle. I'm not going to use it that way because this cable's really long, but my bus is too long for it to reach all the way to the back, and I don't really need to record what's behind me anyway, plus I already have a backup camera that I like. But I am actually going to use this. This is the camera here. I'm actually going to use this as an interior camera. The A810 has dual channel recording, so it captures footage from both cameras at the same time, so that's pretty fun. You can choose a kit that doesn't have a rear view camera, and that's a little bit less expensive if you know you're not going to use that part of it. So back to these buttons that are down here. This one to the furthest to the side, this is where all the settings are. And you've got camera settings and system settings. So there's a lot of things to play around with that you can choose from. You can choose what video resolution you want, 1080p at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 30 frames per second, or 4K, which only records at 25 frames per second. 4K is the highest image resolution, and since I want to use this footage on my channel, I'm going to choose that one. You can also choose what kind of information you want to have burned into the video itself. For example, I have the date and time and then the GPS coordinates. And the GPS coordinates could be really helpful in an accident, or, I mean, for me, they're helpful because sometimes I forget where I shot something, and I can pop those GPS coordinates into Google Maps and it refreshes my memory of where that footage is from. You can also show your travel speed on there too, and that could either help you or hurt you in an accident, I guess, depending on whether or not you were obeying the speed limit. I think I'm going to turn that one off. There's a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. It's just for use with the 70My app, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. If you scroll a couple of spots to the right, you're going to see parking security. You can only use these settings if you have the hardwire kit set up. This allows you to monitor your vehicle when it's parked and use things like motion detection, where the camera's going to turn on if somebody comes near your parked car. Or you can use collision detection, which will tell you if someone crashes into your parked car. You can also do time-lapse in this mode, but again, you have to set up the hardware kit to be able to use these features. Now here is something really cool, smart travel. First, you've got crash detection, so you can set it for how sensitive you want that to be. For me, I drive on a lot of bumpy gravel and dirt roads in a big old clunky bus, so I'm going to turn the sensitivity down, maybe even turn it off in some situations, because otherwise it's going to save everything as if it was a crash video. You might want to keep it set to a higher sensitivity if you're on a regular highway drive. The other thing that's under smart travel is ADAS, which stands for the Advanced Driver Assistance System. If you turn this on, it's going to give you safety prompts. Like, it's going to let you know if you stray outside your lane, or if somebody cuts in front of you and you're close to them, things like that.
Vehicle ahead motion detected.
Scroll over again, you're going to see the sound settings. There you can set how loud you want alert tones to be and whether or not you want to actually record audio. Yeah, this thing can actually record audio.
The engine's pretty loud. We'll see how this comes out.
The first of the manual controls here actually controls the audio right here, except if you've got the rear auxiliary camera plugged in, that button functions differently. It doesn't operate the audio, but instead it's where you can switch the monitor from one camera to the other. If you hit the second button, this one here, it's going to manually record an emergency video. So if you don't have your emergency setting on, or if you witness an accident that you want to record, you can hit that. And then the one next to it is where you can play back videos, and then this one is, again, the settings button. You can also access all these settings on the 70My app, but when you connect the app, you can only use the app. These buttons don't function anymore once you're connected to the app. Anyway, please don't be messing with the settings while you're driving, because you don't want to have to use that emergency recording. Here's how it looks in 4K. And then this is how it looks in 1080p. Now, I can see a difference, but they both look really great. This is 4K at night. It's very clear, very natural looking. It's better than what you'd see with the naked eye. And that's thanks to the Sony Starvis technology. You can download footage really easily to your phone using the app, or I put it on my laptop. Some dash cams, like that old one, produce these funky files that have to be translated just for you to even be able to edit them or watch them even on a computer. But this one creates MP4s, which I can just drag and drop onto my MacBook. I'll be honest, there's very little that I don't like about this thing. The video quality is great. The camera is reliable. It's super user-friendly. And I don't know about you, but I need user-friendly. I highly recommend this thing, and I've put a link in the description with a code that you can use to get 15% off on the 70My website. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. We'll do it all again. Well, no, we won't do this again. We'll do something else the next time. I promise. Subscribe. Come on, can't hurt.
Get on the bus.